Hello and welcome. Today we will be playing with an Incubus by Akane Hayashi. A little bit about the game. Playing with an Incubus is a short BL Yaoi visual novel featuring an unexpected encounter between Alexandre, a lonely guy obsessed with his favorite gacha game, and Rodric, a hungry incubus seeking to find someone. Split between his original plans for the night and giving attention to his new visitor, what will Alexandre choose? Warning: this game contains detailed description of sexual activities between two consenting male adults. Thus, it is intended for adults only. So, this is a not safe for work game. However, I will not be playing the not safe for work route. I'm really excited for the game because I love Akane's art, and her games have been really fun in the past, and I have played both of them, and you should definitely go check them out either on my channel or go download and play them for yourself. As usual, all the links will be in the description. This game does come with an additional art book which you can purchase for a minimum of $3.99 USD donation. And that's got some CGs and a not safe for work illustrations. And I am vibing to this music. I really love it. So, let's get started. Can you believe I almost used all my cards at last week's event? I'm glad I changed my mind at the last second. Felipe? Hello? Damn, did he just sleep again? Am I really this boring? It's not the first time this has happened. Well, he's going to miss the Halloween raid-up event. We've just been preparing for this for at least 6 months now. We even talked about it at work. Come to think of it, Philippe has already got almost all the champions from the game. Maybe he doesn't care about this event at all. But I do. Tonight, I'll finally get my all-time favorite champion. I still remember the day I randomly saw his pictures in Realms of Warriors ad. At that moment, I must have felt what they call love at first sight. I just downloaded the game right away to find out who was that hot character on the ad. I had to. At the time, I had no idea I'd fallen in love with the game's mechanics, turning it into my favorite hobby for the weekends. Among all my friends, only Felipe knows the game. We did a pact to play together every Saturday night, since we're two nerds with no social life. To be fair, he at least has a girlfriend, which makes me the only real nerd with no social life. But it's not like I have a choice living in this tiny town. Whatever. Time to focus on Realms of Warriors. Clicking on the Champions List tab, I take the chance to take a good look at my husbando before the event starts. The subject of my desire is a 5-star champion. That is the rarest category on the game. Under normal conditions, players only have a 0.25% chance of getting him for each summoning card used. But because of the Halloween raid-up event tonight, I have a much higher 1.25 chance of receiving my handsome husbando. Oh, gacha games. They really gotcha. I'm really hopeful he'll come tonight. When the character's 3D model finally loads on the screen, all I can think about is how the person who designed him deserves all the love in this world. Being a champion from a supernatural species, his appearance is similar to that of an angel. With his delicate features and innocent look, one wouldn't imagine how powerful he is. He's one of the most versatile champions in the game. Oopsies. So all the players dream about having him on their teams. Today, you'll be mine, handsome. Sometimes I wonder if having a crush on a fictional character is too ridiculous, even for me. But what can I do? This guy is exactly my type. If only there was someone as attractive as him, with that same long hair, this beautiful body, and that hypnotizing look. Unfortunately, it's not possible for such a gorgeous guy to really exist. I'm destined to suffer for this unrequited love for the rest of my days. I don't know why I'm being so dramatic today. Maybe loneliness is finally hitting me hard. Well, enough of this drama. Time to start using the 350 summoning cards I gathered specifically for this event. The original plan was to use my cards simultaneously with Philippe, but so far he hasn't shown any signs of life in the chat. By the looks of it, it's just me and myself tonight. Clicking on the summoning tab, I go for the option to use 10 summoning cards at the same time. If I only use one card at a time, I'd certainly spend the whole night here. Let's go. First round of summons. Please, please. When the result of the summoning session appears on my screen, a discouraged sigh leaves my lips. They're all champions that I already have in my team. The rarest among them being just at 3 stars. In other words, I've received a bunch of completely useless champions. Sigh. Alright, I still have 340 summoning cards in my account. My husband may show up in at least one of them, right? Actually, it's still mathematically possible for him to not appear. But to hell with math. In games like this, we all know that luck is what defines such characters players will get. Which isn't exactly better. Damn it. Crossing my fingers, once again I spend 10 of my cards in a new round of summons. To my despair, the result is as good as the previous one. My face twitches into an incredulous expression as I witness 30, 40, 50 summoning cards go to waste without bringing me a single decent champion. In the blink of an eye, 180 cards are burned, and my blood boils at the thought that none of them brought me anything good. Who was the saddest game designer who decided that a 1.25% chance would be enough for this? Come on! I didn't get any 5-star champion yet. It didn't even have to be my favorite. Anyone in the 5-star category would already make me happy. If I'd known that this game would bring me so much suffering, I'd never have clicked on that ad. That would become the starting point of all this. What a clever way to bait players into this trap, using my husband's pretty face. Taking a deep breath, I waste a new set of 10 summoning cards and try to mentally prepare myself for the disappointment to come. If only I were one of those rich players, I could buy as many cards as needed until I got my husbando. Why is life so unfair? The cards start turning on the screen, one by one. But when it comes to the moment that the 7th card is turned, a special song begins to play through my laptop speakers. This sound, it means it's a 5-star champion. Please be him, please be him! A special animation appears on the screen for a few seconds, taking what feels like a century before finally showing the character's face. That's not him, damn it! Looking on the bright side, at least it's a 5-star I didn't have. Better than nothing, I guess. Hello. I almost fall from my chair when I hear a completely unknown voice, sounding right behind me when I'm supposed to be alone in this house. Turning in the direction of said voice, the scene behind my eyes makes my breath get stuck halfway in my throat. Hello indeed. Look at that hair. A guy I certainly don't know, sitting on my bed as if it belongs to him. As if it were normal for him to be there. Oh god, look at him. Look at him. He is so pretty. Oh, I love his hair though. Like, I'm very weak to braids. Like, oh, I love him so much. And the pointy ears. And oh, he's sexy. He's so sexy. However, he definitely doesn't look like a normal guy. Are those things on his back wings? And are those horns? What the? A malicious smile appears on his face when he hears my voice, his expression causing a chill to run over my skin. The words I intend to say disappear from my mind the moment our eyes meet. His golden iris is glued to mine. He's terrifying, but at the same time, he's without a doubt the most handsome guy I've ever seen in my life. His long and light hair, combined with his open shirt exposing those defined muscles and his tight pants, it's a vision that definitely wouldn't go unnoticed to me. I only realized that I'd forgotten to breathe when my lungs suddenly pull the air in, making me pant like a fish out of water. Hey, you're not going to faint, are you? God, look at him. I like the heart tail. Look at that. Yes. Honestly, I don't know. I like to avoid triumphal entrances as to not frighten people too much, but apparently there's no way not to surprise them. The man gets up from my bed and walks elegantly towards my direction, stopping just a few inches from me. Looking closer, he doesn't seem to have a flaw at all. A magazine cover model would die of envy if he saw him. A slightly sweet, vanilla-like smell fills my senses when the breeze comes through the window. When the breeze coming through the window hits him before getting to me. Could it be coming from him? When the initial shock fades and I begin to analyze that before my eyes... Wait, I can't read. When the initial shock begins... When the initial shock fades and I begin to analyze the being before my eyes, a dark thought crosses my mind. There we go. Although attractive, this guy can only be some kind of supernatural entity. This explains his wings and the fact that he appeared out of nowhere in my room. Sherlock. On second thoughts, with these wings and horns, it looks like he might be a demon. Have you come to take my soul? I've never done anything wrong. Excuse me? I just hacked a few games and downloaded some movies, but I was going to hell for that, right? My eyes burn as my dread grows more and more, tears starting to blur my vision. However, to my surprise... I won't take your soul, dear. You can rest assured. Do you promise? Oh, he's such a dweeb. I love him. I promise. I'm not that kind of demon. So he's, in fact, a demon. So why did you suddenly show up in my room like that? I did nothing to lure you here. The demon puts one of his hands under my chin as he smiles, his movement as smooth and elegant as that of a feline. Allow me to introduce myself. My name's Rodric, and I'm an incubus. Did you really just say incubus? He nods slowly, that malicious undertone returning to his expression. Do you know what an incubus is? Huh? Yeah? My stomach seems to drop inside my body before that information. Incubi are famous creatures in media like movies and games, but I never thought they could exist for real. And what surprises me the most is that one of them just appeared in my room, of all places. It's been a while since I've been in the mortal world, so I'm starving. I was just passing by when I felt a strong longing coming from this direction. Longing? Exactly. I believe that you were longing for something with great passion, my dear. A second goes by before I realize that he's asking my name indirectly. Alexandre. Alexandre. Well, the longing energy coming from you caught my attention. So I decided to personally check if you were really that interesting. So far, I don't believe it was a waste of time to come here. You're handsome. Oh. Am I? Instinctively, my face turns towards the laptop screen, my cheeks becoming warm with his praise. I didn't receive compliments often, especially from a guy who looked like some wonderful Greek god. It seems you're the shy type too. Interesting. Damn, he's not helping. My face and ears are certainly as red as a pepper. You got it wrong. I wasn't longing for what you think I was. No. I love the little heart that shows up at the end of the sentence too. The GUI is really pretty. Taking a deep breath, I gathered the necessary courage to look into his eyes before explaining myself. The golden irises that once radiated confidence now watched me with a pinch of disappointment. How to explain? There's this game that I like, with a character that I really want to get. I was trying to get him before you arrived, so it must have been this kind of longing that you felt. That's it, I swear. I point to the laptop screen as I explain, making Rodric's eyes focus on it for a few minutes. He seems to be a little confused with all my talking. So, all that longing you felt before was just because of just a game? When he says it out loud, my whole situation seems even more ridiculous than it already was. That's it. Forgive me if I made you come here for nothing. I didn't mean to. Rodric remains still for a few seconds. It doesn't take much until a discouraged sigh escapes between his lips. I understand, but it really is a shame. I had loved the scent of your longing, and I was hoping I could feel its taste too. Taste? Rodric walks towards my bed and sits down again, crossing his legs elegantly before he starts explaining it to me. We incubi feed on human emotion, excitement, joy, contentment, desire. All of this is on our menu. Each person has a distinct flavor on their emotions. I believe it can be compared to the food you humans eat. Like sweet, salty? Exactly. We tend to have our preferences about that too. I, for instance, prefer feeding on people with sweet flavors, like yours. Hearing him talk about how he likes my scent and my taste feels weird, but also surprisingly intriguing. But if you can feed on just emotions, why do you sleep with people? Are there no other ways to feed? In theory, any means of provoking these sensations in a human would work perfectly. However, sex is still the most effective method. After all, it's the easiest way to get a high amount of these emotions at once. Not to mention that it's a method that I particularly love to use. The way he looks at me as if I was a potential meal makes me shiver, but not exactly in a good way. If he likes this method so much and is as hungry as he says he's, how far could he go to feed himself? As if he could really read my thoughts, Rodric's expression becomes sober as he states, "Obviously, I only resort to this method if my partner allows me. Forced relationships never turned me on." That's good to hear. I always thought that incubi were insatiable, perverse demons. I never thought that their partner could have a choice. Well, some of us are insatiable and perverse. Some incubi don't care about humans' willingness to feed them or not, but I believe this goes against our nature. After all, we should feed on pleasant sensations, not suffering or pain. The way he speaks leaves me amazed, perhaps somewhat enchanted by his eloquence. I really didn't expect an incubi to be so civilized. That's why I won't force you to do anything tonight if you don't want to. If you prefer that I leave you alone, I will. A moment of silence hangs between us, and despite his neutral expression, I can still notice little traces of anxiety in Rodric's golden irises. My plans for tonight included joining the Halloween event at Realms of the Warriors, and nothing more than that. The appearance of an incubus in my room was definitely quite a surprise. Rodric doesn't seem like a bad person to me, and besides, he's drop-dead gorgeous. I don't want to dismiss him like this, as if he didn't pique my interest, because he did. But at the same time, I'm not sure if sleeping with an incubus could be a good idea. After all, he's not a human. Would it sting? Or would he drain on my life force and leave me in a coma for days? Maybe I should try knowing him better before making my decision. May I think before answering? To my surprise, Rodric smiles gently. Of course. We have the whole night ahead of us. A wave of relief strikes me when I realize he wouldn't leave after receiving my inconclusive answer. Thanks. Rodric's about to say something more, but his eyebrows contract slightly, as if something was bothering him. What happened? It's nothing. He takes one hand to his forehead and keeps it there for a few seconds, which makes me genuinely concerned. Rodric had mentioned that he was hungry, but actually, how hungry was he? You need to feed yourself, right? He stared at me as if I've unveiled the secret he tried to cover up, and then shakes his head negatively. Don't worry, I'm fine. It's not as bad as it looks. no matter how hard he tries to keep me calm about it, I can't help but think of a way to solve his situation. The first idea that comes to mind seems a little silly, but to be honest, it makes the most sense. Rodric, how about we try something different? What do you mean? I ponder my idea to the point of thinking that it sounds extremely dumb, but in the end, I choose to share it anyway. If you just need me to feel good emotions for you to feed yourself, maybe you could watch me playing Realms of Warriors to satisfy your hunger while I make my decision? His eyebrows raised slightly before my unusual suggestion, but after some seconds of deliberation, Rodric nods. I've never used other methods before, but it might work. Well, we'll only find out if we try. Just wait a minute, I'll get you a chair. He's playing a gacha game with these random incubi. Getting up from my chair, I walked towards the kitchen and returned moments later with one of the dining table chairs in my hands. Placing it right next to mine, I asked Rodric to accommodate himself, which he soon does. Ooh, you got closer. This way, we're close to each other, and you can view the laptop screen too. Great. Proximity is essential so I can absorb your sensations. By the way, I have a question. Will I feel anything different when you start feeding? Don't worry, you won't feel a thing. All those stories about incubi sucking the life energy out of people are merely a myth. Oh, that's good. There's still so many things I don't know about the incubi. It's just makes me want to talk to him even more. But when I'm about to ask another question, a game notification flashes on the laptop screen, reminding me the rate-up event would end at 2 AM. That is, I only have half an hour to use the rest of my summoning cards, and if I'm lucky, to get my favorite character. I guess I'll have to leave the questions for later. While I try to recall where I stopped before Rodric appeared, something warm and soft touches my thigh. When I gaze upon it, the first thing I see is Rodric's hand resting on my thigh. Although he's not moving even a finger, the mere touch is enough to make my heart skip a beat. Forgive me. I need to touch a part of your body to absorb your emotions. I considered holding your arm, but I thought it might end up impairing you from playing your game. No, it's fine, I just wasn't expecting it. Look at the little blush. Besides, it's not like I'm bothered by his hand on my thigh. He's not groping me, but just touching. To be honest, the feeling is quite pleasant. The touch of someone else is something I haven't felt for a long time. Oh, my spike. What were you doing before I arrived? His words are waking me from my thoughts, making me return my gaze to the laptop screen. I was using my summoning cards to get a new character, and I was hoping to get the one I've always wanted. Rodric looks at the screen, his eyes analysing each detail with curiosity. By his expression, I bet he's not understanding a single thing. Alright, can you do it again? If he's referring to the moment when I got the 5-star champion, that won't be easy to repeat. I can't guarantee it will happen again, but we can try. Rodric nods, and I finally resume my summoning session. Once again, I choose to use 10 summoning cards at once, and it doesn't take long before the results are revealed. Geez, nothing good again. While I command the game to make a new round of summons, Rodric's eyes don't leave the screen for even a second. He seems very focused on what I'm doing. Do you like games? He seems surprised by the question, but soon his expression softens. Actually, it's the first time I'm seeing one for real. We don't have all these human technologies where I live. Really? Where do you live? It's a separate dimension from the one you human lives. Like two distinct worlds. Not allowed to take anything from here to there, and vice versa. Wow. A flood of questions about the dimension from which Rodric came comes to mind, but before I could vocalize them, a chat notification catches my attention. I'm back. You slept again, huh? Sorry, dude, I passed out. Rodric observes the screen with even more deep attention than before, his eyes scanning the text carefully. I wonder if he knows how to read. What is this? It's the chat window. Sometimes I exchange messages with my friends. Like letters? More or less. The difference is the chat message reached the recipient instantly. Wow. Fascinating. His eyes seem to shine whenever I explain something to him, which in a way, I find cute. But how doesn't he know about these things if he visits the human world kinda often? So, this Philippe you're talking with is your friend? Yeah, I'd agree to spend the night playing the game with him, but he ended up sleeping before we even started. Rodric nods slowly, but his eyebrows are slightly frown. Are you guys close? His question surprises me so much that I couldn't hold back a soft laugh. What? No, we're just co-workers, and Philippe has a girlfriend. He doesn't like men. For the first time in the night, Rodric's face becomes red like a pepper. He tries to look away in an attempt to hide his reaction, but it's too late. He looks surprisingly lovely this way. Forgive me for asking. It's just that I wanted to make sure that you're really available. That's fine. I don't have a boyfriend, actually. I never had. Rodric's eyes seem to almost jump out of its sockets when he hears my words. Are you serious? Maybe it's too personal a matter to deal with someone I just met, but the truth is that I don't have anyone but him to hear me talk about it. I've been keeping this with me for so long. Maybe now is the opportunity to get this weight off my chest. Yeah, I've always lived in this small town, so I've never felt comfortable to come out. If people here saw me with a guy, I would surely become the main subject of their gossip for a long time. Rodric examined my expression with caution, as if trying to figure out if I was really telling the truth. So, you never had? A slight blush takes over my cheeks when I foresee the end of his question. Oh, no, I'm not virgin. On a trip a few years ago, I met a nice guy and it happened years ago. So it was the first and last time? Oh. I nod quietly, still deep in the memory of that short and rather confusing night. Yeah, I never saw him again, but it was just a casual thing, so it's not like I expected to meet him again anyway. Rodric nods, remaining silent for a few moments. I observe the laptop screen in front of me, but my attention is entirely focused on what I just confided. In a way, I feel relieved to finally talk about it, but at the same time, my anxiety grows more and more inside of me. Did I talk too much? What could Rodric think about my inexperience in this field? Would that make him give up on me? I turn my gaze to him and attempt to read his thoughts through his expression, and to my surprise, Rodric also observes me in the same way. His hand presses my thigh gently, the moment so subtle it could go unnoticed if I wasn't waiting for his reaction. Are you sure you don't want to take advantage that I'm here tonight? With me, you wouldn't need to hold back nor worry about judgments, but just be yourself. You could forget about the world out there, even for a while. My eyes returned to the laptop screen, where 3 new messages flashed frantically in the chat window. Now that I'm here, let's play. Hey, are you there? Did you sleep too? LOL. I've been waiting for this event in Realms of Warriors for so long, and I've done my best to make sure nothing got in the way of my plans. However, I had no idea that I could be an incubus. An incubus who's not only attractive, but who's also been a pleasant companion in this lonely night. Some events on Realm of Warriors never happen twice. Just like I don't know if one day I will ever meet Rodric again. Damn, this is a hard choice to do. Oh no! I'm sorry, Rodric. So, for the stream, we will keep playing Realms of Warriors. But if you like not safe for work games, I highly encourage you to download this game and play it so you can see the not safe for work route. YouTube doesn't really like not safe for work stuff, so I will be trying my best to avoid it at all possible. The game is free, and you can also get that artbook for $3.99. Akane also has a Patreon where she shares other little tidbits and development and work in progresses and things like that you can follow along with. I think all of Akane's games are free, but I do highly encourage supporting her if you can, because her games are so nice and enjoyable. So for stream, we will keep playing Realms of Warriors, although in my heart, I am going with Rodric. My body's begging for me to sleep with him, but my rational sides yell I should just keep playing my game. Maybe tonight's finally my lucky night. I shouldn't waste this chance. Not to mention that using Rodric to appease my loneliness sounds a bit selfish to me. Perhaps it's better to carry on with my plans for tonight. I just hope you won't be too upset. I'm sorry. I think I still want to play my game. Please don't get me wrong. I'd love to, feed you. You're so attractive I can barely take my eyes off you. But I've been preparing for tonight's raid-up event for months. I wouldn't have peace if I missed it. I'm sorry. I really am a nerd for choosing a game over you. To my surprise, Rodric laughed slightly, with no hints of disappointment. It's okay. I'm pleased to know that you find me attractive. Besides, you can still feed me while playing the game, just like you suggested. A smile appears on my face, reflecting my relief at knowing that Rodric isn't annoyed by my choice. Alright, so let's have some fun. We both turn to my laptop screen again, in which I type a few quick replies to Felipe's messages. I'm here. I don't sleep on the chat, unlike some people I know. Yeah, of course. Did you spend all your cards already? I still have less than half. So, did you get him? No. After closing the chat window, it's time to prepare some new rounds of summons. Nah. The result that comes are nothing out of the ordinary, except for a few 4-star champions who might even be useful in my team someday. Well, it's not that bad, to be honest. At my side, Rodric seems genuinely attentive to each detail of the game. Sometimes a new character appears or a new song starts playing, his lips curl into a subtle yet joyful smile. But what leaves me curious is how his hand slightly presses my thigh whenever the game brings me some joy. By now, the headaches he felt doesn't seem to bother him anymore. I wonder if my unusual plan to feed him is working. Has your hunger gone away? He wet his lips before answering. A joyful smile spread on his face. It has. Your emotions are delicious, Alexandre. My heart races in my chest as I hear such praise, especially for the suggestive way he phrased it. Oh, thank you. Rodric gives me a charming wink, making me lose my ability to speak again. It seems that even our short time together was enough for him to find out the best way to make my cheeks go warm. Oh my. Still stunned by his actions, I barely noticed when one of my last 10 summoning cards I used makes a different song start playing. The very instant I realized that this is a 5-star champion, Rodric's grip becomes tighter on my leg. What's happening? I summoned a 5-star champion, but I still can't say if it's the one I want. As soon as he hears that, Rodric also pays attention to the screen, seeming as eager for the results as I do. The summoning animation shows up, but I don't recall seeing it before, which means I never got this same champion before. Oh, gacha gods, please don't play with my feelings. When the clip finally comes to an end and the summon character's face appears on the screen, my eyes almost jump out of my sockets. Oh my god, it's him! If Rodric said anything, I couldn't even hear him. My mind can't concentrate on anything but the fact that this is indeed my lucky night. Man, he's so cool, I can't believe I got him. Rodric remains silent, which finally starts worrying me about his lack of reactions. As I turn my gaze to him, I realize that his eyes are no longer focused on the screen in front of us, but tightly shut. His grip on my thigh had intensified considerably, which I could have noticed earlier if I wasn't so focused on the game. He's definitely not well. Rodric, what happened? Rodric shakes his head slowly, biting his lower lip as if to hold something back. His breath is I think he's very well, not? His breath is surprisingly heavy, his chest rising and falling notoriously under his open shirt. It takes him a few seconds to open his golden eyes again, locking them on mine. Is it just me, or is the color of his irises more vivid now? Forgive me. I didn't expect something this intense. His breathing is still unbalanced when he answers me, which leaves me amazed at my own capacities. Did I really leave him like this without even moving a finger? All this is because of me? He nods, bringing a hand to his chest. When you mentioned that you like this character, I certainly underestimated your feelings. And not all my partners have provided me with such a satisfaction as you had just now. All my blood goes to my cheeks upon hearing his confirmation, and I have to fight the urge to look away again. So, I did well. Keep it up, and I won't let go of you ever again. Please don't! Stay! That sentence fills my chest with a strange feeling of joy. Is it normal to feel this way for a guy I just met? For an incubus? Rodric smiles, probably sensing my emotions again. As long as he touches me, I'm like an open book in his hands. Which isn't necessarily bad. Being honest, the night with him hadn't had a single moment when I didn't appreciate his company. Please, I want more. Rodric's voice interrupts my thoughts, and the sly expression in his eyes makes me want to fulfill any wish that could come from his lips. All of this must have been some kind of incubus magic. That's the only explanation. Unfortunately, I don't have as many cards as I had before. The chances of a new 5-star champion appearing is almost non-existent. I'm unsure if I can do it again, but let's try. Rodric nods with passion, his golden eyes full of an expectation that not even I am feeling. However, the remaining cards are soon gone after a few rounds of summons, and just as expected, I didn't get any new 5-star champions. I could still buy more cards to keep going, but if I did, Rodric would surely convince me to spend my entire paycheck in a single night. Is it over already? Yeah. My cards are gone. A long yawn leaves my lips before I finish the sentence, which draws an amused laugh from Rodric. Are you sleepy? I am. I'm not used to being up this late. I should have gone to bed hours ago. I guess it's time for me to leave then. His words bring a slight tightness to my chest. I knew I'd have to say goodbye to him at some point, but I didn't expect it'd make me so sad. It's a shame. I wish I could see you again. His eyebrows lift slightly at my request, just as his gaze lowers to the hand still on my thigh. He seems distant, thoughtful. Did I say something I shouldn't have? Or worse, what if he, in fact, didn't like me? If you wish to, of course, I understand if you're disappointed that we didn't do it in a conventional way. Rodric widens his eyes slightly, shaking his head in denial. No, I really enjoyed spending the night with you. It was a new experience for me, to be able to feed myself that way. A moment of silence sets in between us, but Rodric breaks it before I do. Do you really want me to return? I don't hesitate in my answer. I do. I enjoyed meeting you. I had so much fun tonight. Besides, I feel curious about the dimension where you live. I wish I could know more about it. If it's okay for you to tell me, of course. Rodric smiles, bringing one of his hands to my face to caress my cheek. The contact is gentle, but it's enough to make me lean to his touch. I'm also intrigued by you. I've never talked this much to a human before. It was fun talking to you, and to play my favorite game with you too. I'm curious about this aspect of your life too. That game sounds really fun. Oh, I'd love to teach you how to play it. We both start laughing together, the joy of knowing that Rodric had also enjoyed our night, making me feel as if I were in the clouds. When the time he needs to leave eventually comes, Rodric takes one of the bracelets in his arms and puts it in my hand. Whenever you want me to come and keep you company, just hold this bracelet and say my name out loud, and I shall hear you. Suddenly, the object in my hand seems to be something much more valuable than a simple bracelet. Got it. Another yawn leaves my lips, even more intense than the previous one. The slumber is already starting to stun me a bit, although I still wish I could spend much more time talking with Rodric. I'll let you sleep now. But if I may, I'd like to give you another memory of our night together. Rodric puts one of his hands on my nape delicately and brings our faces closer, joining our lips in a kiss right after. Although it's one of the most chaste kisses I've ever received in my life, my heart feels like it's racing inside my chest. His lips are soft as a feather, feeling as if they're made especially to fit mine. Eee. When our contact ceases, I'm surprised to notice that his face looks as flushed as mine must be. You're so sweet. Literally. Until our next meeting, Alexandre. In the blink of an eye, Rodric disappeared before me as if he were an illusion. The only evidence of his visit is the bracelet I held carefully in my hands. Already on the edge of unconsciousness, I say goodbye to Philippi in the chat and thank him for not sleeping again. He's really a nice friend, staying up this late to play with me. My eyelids feel heavy when I finally lay on my bed, placing Rodric's bracelet on my bedside table. Watching it carefully before closing my eyes, I can't hold back the smile that appears on my lips as I remember him. I also look forward to seeing you again, Rodric. The end. For now. Please, Akane, give me more! Oh. I really liked the music for that as well. Hey. You should all go join her, support her on Patreon because she's amazing. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you very much for playing. For news about this and my other projects, please refer to the links on the title screen. And you can find the links down here. Got a Twitter, that Patreon, and itch.io. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I am very sorry I could not give you the not safe for work. Download it, play it. It's really sweet. If you want to see more from Akane, he also has out the demo for Birthday Cake, the demo for A Way to a Vampire's Heart. Both of these I have played on my channel. You can check those out, or you can go to itch.io for Hayashi games, and you can download all of these and play them, and they're all really good and sweet, and I'm excited for more Akane games. Her art is beautiful and her stories are so sweet, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye!